Manchester United are improving and the numbers back it up. 19 goals scored and the best fighting spirit that we've seen away from Old Trafford in years. We're going to have a discussion around the season so far, so please get involved in the live chat. And if you are joining us later on, make sure you get involved in that comment section and smash that like button to help support the channel. How are you feeling today? What's your mood like on this Monday?
I'm looking at United and I'm thinking to myself, Ruben Amorim this weekend, he got the mood. And he also got the mood of like how things are going. He also understood what United fans are thinking, what they're saying, and he's correct. United are improving. The away form itself. I mean, how often do we say like unbeaten 3 games, unbeaten Liverpool? You've got to say he is correct. And I think he's putting a note of caution out there that there is still things to work on. And we all know that conceding goals, United fans out there have been commenting and they see that as the big issue, conceding.
Yeah, 19 goals scored in the Premier League, 18 conceded, which I'm sure a lot of you will want to pinpoint and discuss today as an area of improvement for Manchester United. But just to sum up what Amorim said over the weekend, which I do say, and you say also, that United fans do feel this mood as well, that people see the results and see the improvement, but we still have a lot of problems. We are just in the beginning, but we are improving.
Yeah, it's just being realistic. We know these problems, like you've been saying, especially over this weekend, conceding is a top worry for most fans. And if you look at it, my eyes were always drawn to the goalkeepers, their mistakes, as though it was their fault that we was conceding goals. But you can't say that with Le Mans. So I'm looking at it differently. You know, you had Bayindi, you had Onana. They were the easy scapegoats for many fans, including myself. But the issue isn't the goalkeeper. Le Mans, yes, he's conceded goals. But I with my own eye test, I don't see it as though it's his problem. We just seem to have a big issue lately of conceding goals. And I thought we was going to like improve in that area. But we're conceding late goals, we're conceding silly goals. People have put it down to it's the substitutes and all that. I think there's many issues, but the one issue, it certainly is not the goalkeeper. And I think Ruben Amorim is pointing that out. We have got problems on the pitch.
Gary Goff from our members club says 11 points out of 15 points. We all would have snatched your hand off for that. Yeah, out of the last 5 games, unbeaten.
Well, when you look at that, I mean, that's just like it's a dream, especially after that Brentford game. I never seen it coming.
No.
And most fans didn't see it coming. They seen big issues with the manager, the team, the players, everything. But having them points on the board, 11 points out of 15, when you look at it, that's good form. That's good considering when you look at where we was last year. Big improvement, and it is progress. I 100% agree it's progress on last year, but I also feel it could have been better, and that's my disappointment when I look at the Forest and the Tottenham game. I do believe. I thought we had great chance to go in there, but I'm not moaning.
I still think it was a good performance, great performance in many people's eyes. A monster one in some as well with De Ligt against Tottenham. And he said over the weekend that they were disappointed in the way they actually didn't take all 3 points against Tottenham because he believed they were there for the taking, Tottenham.
Well, I always believed they were there, and he's quite right. The team should have done better. I thought they should have attacked more. Many fans made comments about we was too passive. I did say it over the weekend. But he's disappointed. He knows they should have took 3 points because they were there. They were there for the taking. And I actually believed we was going to win 3-0. There was something deep inside me, and that's the disappointment. But when you look at it overall, take the disappointment away. I've took the disappointment away of not getting 3 points there. And it's not just the getting the 3 points. It's the position United would have been in coming back after the international break. They would have been in the top 4. So for me, yeah, out of 15 points, 11, I ain't moaning. It's progress.
Yeah, Amorim did actually touch on De Ligt as well, and it's something we have talked about recently, about the leadership group, what's going on inside Manchester United with the players that they've currently got. And he said there are players who lead in the way they play. then there are players who have a different involvement in everything that happens in Carrington. In the end, everyone has to be a leader, and he's bang on with the last bit of that.
It's all right in saying everyone has to be a leader, but not everyone is a leader. Some people need to be led. Some people need to be G'd up, and that is just the nature of the beast. I think there's only one or two leaders out there on that pitch. You look at Kieran and Mbeumo, they're an improvement on the attitude of players on the pitch. They're fighting all the time. Yeah. And one or two players have shown fight and everything and improvement, and De Ligt himself, possible contender at some point if Bruno leaves to be a captain. Yes, he is a fighter. I think he's a really excellent player. But he's disappointed, and I think the whole fan base is disappointed, which sounds mad, because conceding goals the way we have done at times has put a bit of a damper on it. Like I say, the easy attack was on Onana and Bayindi, but for me, Le Mans isn't the issue now. With the goalkeeping isn't an issue. It's the outfield play, and that's what's let us down. We can't keep conceding. Progress is there, but we can't keep conceding if we hope to be in a position to be in the top four or get European football. That's how I see it, and that's how a lot of fans see it. It is a concern.
Mick in the chat says, while he keeps on playing Ahmad at right wing back, we will keep shipping goals. He's just too small and lightweight to defend. Plus, he's wasted at right wing back now. I've got to be honest with you. One of my disappointments from the weekend was not him just changing it around, Ruben Amorim with the starting 11 compared to the previous game at Forest. It was, why did he decide to break up that partnership with Mbeumo and Ahmad at that right wing back spot? Because I think that's been a real positive for us this season, and our best attacking threat going down that right hand side.
Well, it was one of the main issues fans were talking about, changing the attack. Many fans thought it was unnecessary. I don't agree that he's too weak at times. I think he gets put under pressure at certain points when the opposition just say, right, let's go for it, let's attack. Don't matter his size or anything, his stature. He is a good man to have on the wing, because he gets back and he holds the ball and he's tricky with it, and he helps, and he has got the strength. He hasn't got the height. I think that's one of the problems for him, but he's not there as a full-back as we traditionally know. So for me, there's plenty of confidence in this team, but changing it like he did with Ahmad, the partnership with Mbeumo and that, there was a confidence building up there with partnerships, and things were beginning to develop. So I don't understand, and many fans didn't understand why he needed to change it and leave Sesko out, for instance, and move Mbeumo away, further away from Ahmad when that partnership was working. So for me, that was strange.
They did manage to link up, though, for Mbeumo's goal, didn't they?
Brilliant,
which was a great goal, pick out from Ahmad, and the movement from Mbeumo to finish it with the header as well. Yalis says, we become vulnerable as soon as Casemiro leaves the pitch. I thought he had a good game on Saturday, to be fair, with some of the mopping up that he'd done, trying to shield the back three. But again, at certain points in the game, when you're hitting that 65, 70 minutes, no one can change my mind out there that he's not got that level of the speed or, the fitness to keep at it like he would at minute one for me. I think it needs changing sometimes.
I think you have to look at that Casemiro and sort of say, what, when Casemiro leaves, we're conceding goals? You didn't say that, and people didn't say that after the Nottingham Forest game. Why we conceded goals there was the old story of Man United walking out there and not being prepared for a barrage of 11 players coming at Manchester United, and we conceded. And how many times have we done that? Casemiro was on the pitch. Casemiro was on the pitch. And at the end of the day, there's other games where Casemiro's been on and we've conceded goals. You're highlighting something which I think is a flawed stat, to be honest with you. Now, prove me wrong. I'll hold my hands up.
Yeah, don't get me wrong, I think he's been steady. And to be fair, when you've got other options in the squad like Agata, Casemiro does start over Agata, and that's one of the biggest issues there, that, you know, the competition for places with Casemiro and Agata, it's not coming from Agata at all, even when he's given minutes on the pitch.
Yeah, I think with Casemiro, you know, listen, the amount of time he spends on the pitch vastly improved, but I think the team's improved as well with the mentality and the way they look after each other. They're closer together, and by being closer together, we're actually not getting the crosses in because people are too, as far as I'm concerned, they're too narrow. Okay, they're not getting behind and they're not too open, which is great. But the thing is, because we're doing that and we're working closer together with Bruno and Casemiro when they're on the pitch, right? We're missing something, and we're missing that width. That's how I see it. Now, Kieran's just mentioned Ahmad did a great cross to Mbeumo to put in, but I didn't see another cross. And it was an excellent cross, but I didn't see anything else. I didn't see Ahmad go round the back of him. I didn't see Dorgu do the same. I didn't see Kuna. It wasn't there. So, yes, Casemiro's playing because they've changed. They've got narrower. They've cut out that big gap, what we used to see right through the game. So that's helping Casemiro, and fair play, but it brings other problems with it.
Sesko as well, there's no updates, I don't think, as we're doing this live right now on Monday on that injury with his knee. But he was concerned, Amarin, about the length of time he might actually be out for. So is it a case of now that Xerxes comes in to replace Sesko?
I don't know. Mason Mount, ready to come on. I think that's how he'll go. And why shouldn't he?
With Cunha up top?
I don't know. I think he might look at it, the Liverpool game.
Yeah.
I think he might set up like that. So for me, that's the option, not Xerxes. Listen, Mason Mount's match fit. And when you talk about match fit, we've got one game a week. And it is a problem when I go back to Matthias de Ligt talking about they were disappointed at the Spurs result. He thought we should have won. He also turned round and said, you know, they were stronger. I'm sure he turned round. Now, tell me if I'm wrong, that Tottenham was stronger. Now, United are playing one game a week. Tottenham there, I don't think they had the full strength side out. They played a European Champions League game midweek. So you would have thought that might have took something out. The home form isn't good. The crowd are on the back, and they seem to be fitter and stronger than Manchester United. So when I listen to comments like that, I worry. I say to myself, one game a week, we're supposed to be fitter. We're supposed to be stronger.
He's definitely come in and made the defence so stronger. I know the goals are a concern, what we're actually conceding, but de Ligt, for me, you know, as an individual, take away from a team performance, I think he's doing really well, de Ligt.
De Ligt's doing really well, but I'll tell you what, when Yoro's on the pitch, I like him on the pitch starting a game. And here's the problem, a lot of fans do turn around when the changes are being made and everything. I have not seen Yoro put in a decent performance when he's come on as substitute. I've not seen all the substitutes come on and we have a decent performance once the substitutes are made. I think there's a flaw here where there's not an understanding when they come on and they're not ready. That's how I see it. Now, I think Yoro is an excellent footballer, right? And I think he should start every game with de Ligt there and at the moment Shaw on the left. But he's not doing that. And I think that might be the problem, changing up. But for me, Yoro coming on as a substitute does not work at all. And he's done it several times.
Well, like we say, there's lots of improvements still to come with this team, like
Correct.
the manager says, and a lot of yous out there. But you're just looking on that left-hand side. We discussed it yesterday with the wing-backs on that left there with Dorgu and Dalot. Do you just give Dorgu now a run of games to try and see some improvement there? Because for me, he does take up some good positions on the pitch, and he holds the width more so than Delo on that left-hand side, but it's his crossing.
No.
I mean, me and you sometimes, well, there was at least 2 or 3 occasions during that game, me and you was, to say the least, scratching our heads in some of the balls that he put in, and you're just thinking, surely it's something that can be improved on the training ground in terms of his crossing ability, because I have seen 1 or 2 crosses, especially with the Chelsea game here at home, a ball that he put in from Mbeumo, and you think, wow, what a cross that was. It was top class, but then the majority of the crosses, it's just not good enough.
I criticised Dorgu for a simple reason. The wing-back position is key to this system, okay? And he's not doing it because his offensive is poor. His crosses are poor. Getting behind him is poor. I didn't see it at all on Saturday against Tottenham, and I've not seen him do it on a regular basis. Very rare have I seen him put in 2-3 crosses and get behind the defences. For me, he's not doing it, right? But he's not solely to blame for that. I've just said we're coming in too narrow. We're closing that gap in the midfield. That's fine. I got criticised for criticising Dorgu on Saturday. But I have to admit, and people did point out, his defensive duties was good. That's fine. But Tottenham was there to be had. Manchester United should have attacked more, and they should have got behind him, and they didn't. And this is the problem. He's a good player, right? But he's being wasted, and he's being made to look poor at times by mainly not doing the attacking as he should, and his crosses are letting him down. But the crosses are letting Manchester United down. I only remember that one really decent cross, and that was from Ahmad, and he took his time, steadied himself and everything, gave himself that extra touch, and that was good. But I didn't see United getting behind him, and this is the wing-back system which we've talked about.
Yeah, just to get a couple of comments ringed off there in the chat. Diablo says, the manager is trying to make the game of football more difficult than it actually is. A back 4 is needed for stability. Nikos says, Yoro still makes mistakes, namely against Forest, and Maguire's a much better player away from home.
It's mad, innit? The manager turns around, you know, and says we're making progress, and we all agree he's making progress. And then we go on about the problems what are still there, as though we're a top team. We're not a top team. We're miles away from being a top team. Yes, these things what need sorting out. And the manager, he knows things need sorting out. But I just look at it and think to myself,
it all comes back down to, you look at over the last 2 games away from home, Forest and Spurs, we score first. And we've all said it now for, oh God, it feels like 2 or 3 years at least, that Manchester United need to do better in controlling games and seeing games out from a winning position.
No, the manager has to do better. The manager has to do better. We see what's going on, and we see the flaws what are in the team, and the manager has to do better. But what he needs to do, he has to deal with what he's got. So when he talks about sorting out a problem, which is a big problem, which we all knew what was going on. We was too wide open. We was getting spanked at home. We was getting spanked away. We was having little moments in games of football because we couldn't control the midfield. Now, he's sorted that out to a reasonable degree with the quality of players what he's got. But what it is, it's caused other problems. He seems, as I see it, right, he's creating his own problems with certain issues, like with the substitutes and that, and I pinpoint the Euro one. Always unnecessary to bring Euro on, to be perfectly honest with you. He shouldn't be a substitute, he should be starting. So there is problems. Some of them baffle me at times and baffle a lot of people out there. But they're not going to get sorted out with this quality of players. They're not top-notch. They're a good squad, but they have to be used in the right way. And I think sometimes Ruben Amorim overthinks it.
Yeah, maybe did do against Spurs, but again, you're looking over the last 5 games there. I'm happy, I've got to be honest with you, especially when you go back to after that Brentford game. I wouldn't have thought then we'd have gone on a run like we had to. So it's a big improvement for me, and I'm still on that deluded train. Bexy says, sell Manu in January, sign another player that suits the system. Amorim just doesn't fancy Manu, clearly. Going on to Nikos P says, there's no real hate for Sesko from Manchester United fans. We know he's 22 and he has shown enough already. He just needs to be sharper and sharper finisher in the Premier League.
Yeah, well, there is no hate for Sesko from Manchester United fans. And if there is, then they're a joke. They are absolute joke, okay? You want consistency. You want someone to have a bit of like, not passion. Like, he wants a regular game of football and he's not getting it. And every striker needs to be on the pitch regular. And he's getting stick from the outside world because it's Manchester United, the global club, the biggest club in the world, okay? So they have to find something, and they're pinpointing on Sesko. But Ruben Amorim should have played him on Saturday. And I think he should have played him more. But he needs the confidence, and every striker needs to be on the pitch, even when they're not scoring, because they always believe they're going to score.
Just going back to Simply Dread, thanks for your super chat, my mate.
Cheers.
I've said before, we need behind doors friendlies against Hibs or a Wigan or something of that nature, so the second team can obviously get the minutes.
Well, I don't know about that. I think what's going on there behind the doors, I think there's a full rechange of the system and how these young players and the under-21s and everything adapt to what's going on the first team. I think at some point it will all click in. I don't think they need friendlies in there.
I understand where you're trying to come from here, actually, because we're discussing here about the subs, and then from my point of view, I don't know if you agree with it, but there's a drop-off clearly when these subs are coming on. So I think you're trying to get over the point of to get match sharpness. So when they do come on, that sharpness is there. No,
I think it's a mentality right through the team. I think there's confusion and chaos brought in because some of these players are brought on. And you say to yourself, why have you brought him on and put him in that position at this late stage of the game or early? Sometimes, as a fan, it's not making sense, but it's not working. I don't care what anyone says. Them players coming on the pitch, nothing's working. And when we go back to earlier on, people talking about leaders. Ruben Amorim's been talking about leaders here, there and everywhere inside Manchester United and that, but doesn't seem to be a leader when the changes are all being made. It seems as though like they go into a bit of like a panic mode, and that's not good going forward, and that has to be addressed.
Yeah, Shadow from our members club says it's not about game time. He has to be clinical. He can't let his performances off the hook. I think you mean in Sesko.
It's about game time. It's always game time with strikers. It's confidence, everything else like that. He's not getting it, okay? It's a different league as well. So you have to take that in. You look at all these strikers what have come from abroad, especially this year and that. It's took time to get in, but you need regular games and that. He will get there once he's up to scratch with understanding what this Premier League and the pace of it is. He needs game time. And he needs that confidence to be on there. And if you're not getting, I don't care who you are as a striker, if you're not on there as a regular basis, you're sat on the sideline going, why aren't I on the pitch? Strikers are the biggest moaners in the world.
Martin says, if we had won instead of drawing in the last two games, we would sit 3 points behind Arsenal. This could cost us at the end of the season. But also you got to look on the positive side as well, the fighting spirit to come back and actually get a draw in both games. Obviously, it's disappointing. I understand it that we were leading in them games. But last season, I mean, if we'd have gone behind like we did do, they wouldn't have actually come back and grabbed the draw like we have. So for me, every point matters.
Every point should matter. That's why the disappointment's there. And that's why the disappointment was there from myself after the game. If we'd have been in that top four, say 3 points behind Arsenal or anything like that, we'd have had massive bragging rights over everyone else except those above us. Now, when have we had that? You look back at last year, the disappointment of last year, the whole thing about last year, the Europa League final, it was against Tottenham. It was absolutely as poor can be. And we played them there and we could have stuck it up and been in the top four. And we could have been all here bragging and everything and going, yes, we're back and everything else like that. Being proper deluded, knowing that there is problems out there. But what a place we would have been in. I think that's the disappointment. But hey, we've bounced back. Everything's good. The fan base is all good. But to criticise fans, criticising Sesko and not understanding what it is to be a centre-forward and what you need as a centre-forward, not for me. I think Sesko's a good player, but I think Ruben Amorim, I go back to earlier on, changing the team was unnecessary. And it's unnecessary for that striker to be put on the bench. What's you going to bring him on when we was winning 3-0, 2-0? What's all that about? Why would you bring him on? I don't get it.
He was a bit of a viral sensation on social media over the weekend, on Facebook and in particular TikTok as well, with your comments about Brian Mbeumo, that you think is the best signing since Bruno Fernandes at Manchester United. But I've got to be honest, I think De Ligt's not far behind with that statement. What do you still agree with that?
No, I agree with my statement, but I don't agree with yours. I think you're way, way, way off it.
Getting you there.
Yeah, you're not getting me. No, you're way off it there. He's a good player. I've liked him since he got here. But no, he's a centre-half, good centre-half. And he just needs proper, regular people next to him, and he will improve further.
Yeah, a lot of people still getting involved on Sesko, and the reason I'm confident that he will come good in terms of putting the ball in the back of the net is because of his movement, and he's actually getting the chances. I'd be a lot more worried if he was like sort of hiding behind the centre half of the opposition and not getting in these goal scoring opportunities like you did see in the first half late on against Brighton. You know, a couple of chances, half chances against Nottingham Forest, and then the weekend against Spurs. It will come good, but let's just hope that he's not out for a long term with this knee injury, and it's something short term where we'll see him back after the international break.
Well, it's good that the international break's here. He's not going to miss any games. He's got a little bit of time, so let's hope the prognosis on his injury comes good. But for me, he needs not just regular football, he needs the players around him to be regular. And Ruben Amorim seems to keep changing and tinkering with what's going on. I just hope he stops and keeps to a solid 11, because he will end up like that Ranieri with the nickname Tinkerman, because I just see it at times, tinkering for tinkering's sake. I don't understand it at times. Yes, I have to go back to it. We've got progress. We're all happy with it. It's great. But I also have to go back to Ruben Amorim. At times, I feel, my opinion, that he's creating sometimes his own problems when he doesn't need it.
Yeah, a lot of positivity around Sesko, and it's good to see, and not falling into the trap of the media slander that we're seeing around him. Nomad Joe says, only about a quarter of the season has passed. People need to give Sesko a bit of time, for crying out loud. I totally agree with you, my mate.
Well, that's what it is. It's a trap. It's the media trap. It's the social media trap as well. Mainstream media. It's the trap. I don't see him going on about any other strikers what have come in to any club this year. It's all Sesko, because the media has been slapped silly since United have progressed and put on this run. 4 home wins on the trot. Absolutely fantastic. 2 draws, win away at Liverpool. So what have they got to moan at? They are coming at Manchester United and looking, and Sesko is the target, and we have to stick and stay solid and back him and call him out. And call him out at any opportunity. It doesn't help when some of our, what do you call it, legends are part of that criticism as well.
Everton next up. God, it feels like a lifetime away, doesn't it, now with this international break, it being on a Monday night as well. But we've got Everton next, Palace away, then West Ham at home. How are you feeling about them 3 games coming up?
Well, it feels like a lifetime away, but I'm actually pleased there is a break here. Maguire, for instance, he's injured. Sesko's injured in that, and then I say to myself, will they be able to bounce back? And I really have fears for Harry Maguire. And I've told you, and people have criticised me for Harry Maguire, oh, give him another contract. Yeah. He deserves another contract and all that. Listen, I've told you time and time again, okay? He has improved and he's done well, and fair play to him, okay? I've criticised him. Everyone else out there has criticised him, right? But he ain't getting a contract. If I'm the manager, I ain't giving him a contract. He's told you, and I keep repeating it, he's told you his body doesn't stand up to it. Now, he was out for a couple of weeks. He's come back on the pitch, and he's out again. He knows himself what's happening, okay? And I don't want to go back to, right, he's done well. Harry's done well, but let's give him another contract, an extended one for a year. These owners ain't doing that. They're changing the philosophy, the way the transfers are, the way the contracts are run and everything else like that. They're not having it. They're not having Deadwood on there who can't perform week in, week out. If Ineos and Sir Jim Ratcliffe were here, they would never have give Luke Shaw a contract. They certainly wouldn't have give Phil Jones a contract just because, oh, let's keep some value on the players. Well, we're not keeping any value for Harry Maguire. His body can't take it. He's just come back and he's injured.
Yeah,
that's how it's going to be with Harry Maguire. And I did say it, and I got criticism for it. Is it Monday today?
Yeah, it's Monday today.
Right, yeah. That's why I'm going into one. It's Monday.
Yeah,
right? Because I have seen some criticism and I'm coming back at you. Yeah. Right? Harry Maguire is not worth another contract for Manchester United. Manchester United are going a different way. We need to bring in players, young players, fresh players. You let me speak some on Harry Maguire because I'm making it clear and people have to understand. Harry Maguire is telling you he isn't fit enough because of his age and his body is changing and now it's being proved.
No, I'm confident with the early signs, though, with the recruitment from Ineos, especially in the summer with the players that we've brought in. And I do think that will continue. And that's what gives me a lot of confidence that over the next couple of years, we will see United back near the top, challenging for that top place. And I just don't think it's time now for sentiment at this football club. If a player gets to a certain age or they can't perform week on week or they're not available through injuries, it's got to be looked at. And with the likes of Maguire and Casemiro as well, I don't think contract renewals should be put on the table for them players. It should be invested in younger players that have got that athleticism and we can also build on for the future in improving with quality.
If this club is to improve, there is no room for sentiment. None whatsoever. Yeah. You look at the sentiment, how many people were giving contracts, okay? How many players were there and we never got rid of them, okay? And they took liberties with us. There is no room for sentiment. To progress, okay, we have to change. Now, the attitude's changing, okay? The staff are changing. Everything's changing at Manchester United, but it will take a while. It will take a couple of years, okay? We've got progress. We want more progress. And when I say more progress, I don't want to see the same mistakes being made by this club year after year after year. I can take losing football matches, always have, but I want to see effort, people fighting for the shirt. And I'm seeing that now. So I don't mind losing when I see the effort. I didn't like the Brentford game, but everything seems to have changed with an attitude on that pitch since that Brentford game, because that was diabolical, okay? Progression, that's what we want. But you have to have no sentiment. You have to be ruthless. I only wish I was on the sideline there, because I would be 100% ruthless. You would not escape my wrath.
AS, surely you don't think I'm that daft, my mate, but I appreciate your super chat. Some man for one man says, we're not a charity case. We're supposed to be a top football club. Maguire and many more simply aren't good enough.
That's correct. We're not a charity case. We've been a charity case looking after everyone far too long. Ex-players, we've looked after them for far too long, bringing in young kids and all that, having them around the training place and all that, okay? So for me, I think too many people have just sucked the life out of that club and just treated it as a boys' club. Not as Manchester United, the worldwide club, the big club, okay, demanding trophies and everything else like that. I don't demand trophies. I demand football and effort and passion from my football team. That's how I was brought up. Now, if we get trophies and that's great, but you've got to aim for them and you've got to fight for them. And we've not seen that. So we're going to get progression. And you can't have sentiment. Sentiment in football, not a chance. Think some of these players, what we've had, what have left now, sentiment for this football club. They use this football club for their own social media.
Yeah, on a nice wage as well. Linz says, don't forget to smash that like button. Doing my job there, Linz.
Yeah, that'd
much
be great.
Appreciated if you can smash that like button to help support the channel. I Am Titanium from our members club says, is the Away Days Nostalgia series back? We will look at doing one of them in the next few days. It's on Millwall, West Ham. One of them sort of stories.
I'll be doing two in the next couple of days, so I expect probably be out by Monday or Tuesday. I'm going to be doing the Millwall first, 1974. So I'm going to have that out hopefully Monday, Tuesday, and then a few days later get the West Ham out 1975 at West Ham. So I'm going to get my days out there, tell you what it was all about, how it felt as a young lad and everything.
Yes, some great feedback on that as well. If you want to watch and listen to something different on YouTube and on Facebook, a great response. It's much appreciated. Malps from our members club says, is the night nurse on Tony's Christmas list for Santa?
Do you know something?
Have you been sleeping, actually? Unbeaten in 5.
Do you know, I slept well Saturday night. I slept well last night and all that. Yeah. So I don't know why I've got a bit of an angry head on Monday. Bit of an angry head on and that. No, night nurse. No, I've been sleeping well because I understand what I'm watching. I'm seeing things going on, what I like. I'm seeing things what aren't right. But I also know that the things what aren't right will get put right further down the line. Once we change staff, once we get rid of people, once we bring in people. And I know it's going to happen over time. I'm not worried about United not being in the Champions League, not qualifying in that, because I think this team will turn round next year. It will improve. You just look at the quality, what's on the pitch, what we bought this summer. There's improvement. And if you listen to Jason Wilcox and what they do, going to look for players and that, it's a refreshing to hear. They're looking at proper standard, people who know and understand Premier League football, and also looking at them from a character way as well, looking into their lifestyle and everything else like that. And that's how it should be. But that's how it used to be with all the scouts many, many years ago. They used to just check up on the parents and the friends and everything else like that. That seems to have just gone years ago under that Ed Woodward, who was just a banker. I was going to use another word, but hey, I'll leave that to use.
Yeah. Witterbird, I think it is. Welcome to our members club. It's much appreciated for your support and every single one of you who continue to watch us.
Thank you.
And smash that like button as well. A few people mentioning your books that you've done previously. I'm sure you're appreciated of what people do and when they read and buy your books.
Well, I wrote a couple of books and that. But hey, that was life then. That's how it was.
Nikos P says, best United channel bar none. Like them kind words, mate. It's much appreciated. Samantha says, love your channel. You're both top notch. It's much appreciated. Like I say, you're just all getting involved in the Webby and O'Neill community. I think we're building something special here because a lot of your comments and opinions as well, we do tend to agree with a lot of yous out there, especially when we do read the comments the following day, because we do that, trust me, just to see and get a feel of what yous are all thinking out there.
Yeah, well, it's like when you're thinking out there, putting your comments in and that, you know, I do read them and that, and conceding goals is the top worry for fans, and they see progress and all that, but they see it being hindered by conceding goals. And it's not just conceding, it's the way we're conceding them. But people have pointed out, absolutely nothing to do with Le Mans. Le Mans hasn't put a foot wrong as far as I'm concerned, and as far as many of you are concerned. And I thought it would have got more better, the conceding ratio, but it's not changing, and that's because of the on-field. And a lot of people have said the issue is they keeps changing it, and people are not sure where they should be playing. It's like Delo, for instance. People criticise Delo all the time. I criticise him, and you know, when he comes on as a substitute, doesn't help himself by the first simple pass, just gives it straight away. But we're seeing that with lots of substitutes what are coming on.
Yeah, I think the players...
It's an issue. It's a big issue.
Yeah, I do think the players and the manager, they'll see Delo as a top professional, though, in terms of the way he trains and looks after himself, you know, especially inside Carrington as well. And I think that's why he's a part of that leadership group.
He's a part of the leadership group. He's part of the squad because it's a small squad. But come the summer, there is no sentiment regarding Delo, because can someone out there tell me the position, okay, that Delo can take up, which is his natural position in that system? Because there's no room for a right back in that system. So where does Delo fit in this team? Where do a few other players fit in this team? What are in this squad now going forward? So I think sentiment's got to go right out the window. I'm not knocking for Delo for his professionalism and all that. And I'll tell you something what a lot of you won't know out there. Delo, for me, is top-notch up there with Bruno for looking after these kids what stand outside there for hours and hours every game. He does it every game. He goes out there regardless and he signs for these kids and everything. So for me, he is a top professional. But sentiment, come the summer, there better not be any sentiment from the people inside this club.
Yeah, just going to go back into the chat. Fred Cranham says, hi guys, Tony, should we dare to dream that we can finish above Liverpool?
Well, that'd be great because, you know, you're talking about the champions. And if we finish above the champions, that'll be great. That's called progress. And they're on a downward slide because as far as I'm concerned, they won't recover from it. They've just spent a huge amount of money, right, for a dysfunctional side, a side where people should have been out of that club and they've kept them too long and now they can't fit in a system. They are struggling and it's not going to go away. It's not going to go away. That's not me with me anti-Liverpool bias or anything like that. But to finish above Liverpool, that's a bonus in itself at any stage throughout this season.
Hopefully, fingers crossed, Sesko isn't out long term and we'll see him straight back after the international break. But is it worth a shout, Chido Obi? Get him out of the academy, put him in the matchday squads if Sesko isn't available and use him over Xerxes.
I like him where he is. I think he's doing well and fair play to him, but he's got a lot to learn and he should be nowhere near Manchester United centre forward on that pitch when we've got one game a week. He's got different systems. You talked about Xerxes. I've talked about Mason Mount. Yeah. They could be used there. So they're well in front of Obi. And like Obi and other people from the academy and the under-21s and that, every now and again, he brings them into the squad, just like he did with Jack Fletcher. He brought Jack Fletcher into the squad for Tottenham away. So for me, that's the way them young players, they won't be introduced to the first side, starting 11, not a chance. And Obi, for me, I've looked at him when he has played in the first team, not strong enough at the moment. He's got a lot of developing to do.
Fred Cranham has gifted 5 memberships. Fred the Red, the legend. The 5 people who've been gifted their memberships. A big thank you to Fred. And anything more to add, though, before we wrap it up?
Do you
feel better, actually, today? It seems like you've got a lot off your chest. I know it's Monday.
No, listen, I've had a great weekend. Yeah. You know, I've been out on my bike and everything. You know, I come to crossroads and all that, and cars stop for me now. They just look, they're helping me. No, they're just looking, saying, "Oh, that old bloke there. I need to let him cross the road on his bike, and that I don't know what he's doing." And that. No, I've had a great weekend. Yeah. I think I look at these 11 games and that, and I don't think there's any worry that United can't compete. And that's what I want to see. This squad can compete. So what the 11 games has shown you, right? That from a little bit of a bad period, they've turned it into a good period where they've shown you, and I don't want them standards to drop. Yes, we know there's difficulties in the side. We know it's like a bit of a jigsaw puzzle at times in there. Ruben Amorim, for me, just improve yourself a little bit with 1 or 2 little things. 1 or 2 players there have to sharpen up, and you just never know where we're going to be. 11 games, quarter of the season gone. And I don't think when I look at the start of the season, I thought we'd be in this position. To be honest, it's been a tough start as I see it.
Keith Stitt says, Delo off the pitch, excellent professional, well said, Tony. However, his performances have been poor for a while. Fortune says, Fred's a legend. Fred the Red, thanks for gifting them memberships, my mate, to the 5 people in the chat. Also, it's November and we are a few points off second. Life is good, but we need to see progress now, and that was from Shane.
Yeah, life is good. There's no 2 ways about it, and every United fan should be like taking this international break with a big smile on the face and just saying to himself, can't wait for this season to start. But I'll go back to that Delo comment, there. Yeah, Delo has been poor for quite a while. It's not got his natural position. And if you go back to the start of the season, I did say Ruben Amorim has to play players in their natural position, because last year he was doing too many experiments, putting people in different positions. And I understood it. I didn't knock it too much, but that had to change. But I don't think Delo has got a natural position in this starting 11. That's how I see it. And that's not helping Delo, even though he is a top professional.
Just like to thank you all for joining us today. A lot of positivity in the chat, and I'd just like to thank you as well for all the kind words in regards to the channel and what we're all building here as a community in the Webby and O'Neill channel. We'll be back tomorrow with another video. We'll be looking at joining Andy from Footy with an Edge YouTube channel to do a bit of a tactical breakdown on the team from the start of the season to this point now. Like I say, as a team, individual breakdowns, etc. So it should make to be a good video. So come and join me tomorrow with Andy. Get that notification on, and we'll see you tomorrow. Enjoy the rest of your day, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you.